In this video, we'll take a look at a second example with some integration by parts. We have the integral of natural log x over x to the 7th dx. So again, the first thing we want to look for here is a u and a dv function to separate my initial integral. The u function that works the best probably in this situation is that natural log. We don't necessarily know the antiderivative natural log without another integration by parts itself. So natural log usually is a good choice for that u function in my integral. And that would leave us with 1 over x to the 7th dx on my dv. So we can take our derivative of the u, that's du equals 1 over x dx. And I'd like to take an antiderivative of dv to find a v function. Just remind ourselves here, this dv is really x to the negative 7 dx. So when I take an antiderivative with the power rule, I can add 1 to the power, which would be minus 6, and then divide by negative 6 again. So we can rewrite this with our integration by parts. We have an arrow going from u to v, and an arrow going from v to du. So we first want to take the product of u and v. So that would be the natural log of x times, we do have a negative 6 in the denominator. And if we look at the x to the negative 6, that's really a power of x to the 6th power in the denominator. So we can write it with a positive exponent like so. If I take a subtraction and integrate my v du, I have x to the negative 6 over negative 6. So that would be really 1 over negative 6 x to the 6th power, if I wanted to put that into the denominator. And then we have 1 over x dx. So this second integral that we're going to want to take here, we can rearrange this a little bit to be helpful in terms of my power rule again. I have the natural log of x over negative 6x to the 6th. And then I do have a double negative, and I can pull out a 6 in that denominator. So I'll have a plus 1 over 6. And then we're going to integrate. What's left over, these is going to be x to the 6th, and then we already have an x here. So if we bring that to the numerator one more time, we have x to the 6th, and x is x to the 7th. And if we bring this to the numerator, that'll be x to the negative 7th power dx. But we'll notice that this is the exact same integral that I really took when I took the dv function. Notice up here, we have x to the negative 7th dx. So if I want to take the antiderivative of this, we already know that. That's our v function there. So we can rewrite this as natural log of x, negative 6x to the 6th, plus 1 over 6. And my integral as a whole, we know is going to be x to the negative 6 over negative 6. And then we'll add our plus c. So let's rewrite this one more time to clean it up just a little bit. We'll have our first term with positive exponents. We'll have a minus. We'll have a 36 in the denominator, along with a x to the 6th power over 1, or the 1 in the numerator. And we'll have our plus c. So this will be the complete antiderivative of our original function using the integration by parts.